Hello, what's up YouTube? Photographer Ronnie Sweat and in this tutorial I'm going to be showing you how you can easily retouch light skin models within Photoshop. So I've been doing so many tutorials about retouching dark skin complexion models, and in this special one I want to do a light skin model, and I want to show you how you can easily do this using my retouching essential spark actions. By retouching essential spark action I mean presets or shortcuts that are going to enable you quick and fast in your retouching process within Photoshop. And if at all you're interested in purchasing them, the link is going to be in the description of this video so that you guys can support the channel for the content that we always drop for you guys on this very channel. So the image you're going to be using today was taken by Mutema Creations, and I'm going to link his YouTube channel in the description of this video so that you guys can check him out. He is an amazing photographer and content creator right here on YouTube and creates the same content like I do. And if at all you want to learn a thing or two, make sure that you visit his YouTube channel. So this is the image that we're going to be using, and after you have purchased or downloaded my retouching essentials pack actions, how to install them, simply come to window and come to action. It is going to open the actions window right here. So after unzipping the actions after purchasing and downloading them, make sure you can either double click on them for them to install within Photoshop, or you can as well come and click on this little bag icon and simply come to load actions, and it's going to open up your finder and simply click and load the actions within Photoshop. So that is how to import the actions within Photoshop. Then also how to do this, you can see that we have a 16-bit image for today's case, and I'm just going to come and select the action. So you simply left click and select the action that you want and simply hit the play button. So it is going to stop at the point when you have to determine the amount of textures that you want to remain within your image. So for this case, you have to take the radius down and start taking it up after zooming in. So you have to take it up at the point when you just starting to close out on the textures in the image, and come and simply hit OK. So after doing this, it is going to automatically create for you the layers that we usually have within frequency separation. And the good thing about these actions, it also creates for you a black and white layer. By black and white I mean a layer that you can use to visibly, or a visible layer for showing you the uneven skin tone transitions. Remember, oftentimes when you're using frequency separation, we tend to first of all even the transitions within the skin. So for this case, I'm just going to close this and come under the brushes right here. Simply right click and get the mixer brush tool. So it is a mixer brush tool and not any other kind of brush. Then if at all you have an older version of Photoshop, you can find your mixer brush tool below here, and right here these are settings that you have to use for your mixer brush tool. So just come and make sure the hardness is at 0%, and make sure also it is a clean brush, and also make sure the option that says clean the brush after each and every stroke has been selected, because while we are trying to blend or even out the transitions within the skin, we are dealing with different tonal variations. Then also the weight is going to be 9%, the load of 75, the mix at 90, and the flow of 100%. Also make sure sample all layers is not checked, because when this option is checked and you try blending right here, it means the brush is going to be picking information from all the layers within the frequency separation group right here, and it is also going to paint them into the low frequency layer. Remember, this layer usually only contains the colors. So if at all we sample all layers, it means it is also going to copy textures and paint them in the color layer right here. So make sure this option is not checked, and after doing this, you can either use a black and white layer as a guide layer to show you the inconsistencies within the skin tones. Then if at all you want to play around with different sizes of the mixer brush tool, you can use the bracket keys on the keyboard. So the open one is going to reduce on the size, and the close one is going to increase on the size of the mixer brush tool. Then also if at all the mixer brush tool is showing a plus icon like this, make sure you press or click on the caps lock key, and it's going to show you the default dimension of your mixer brush tool. So how to use the mixer brush tool? We simply left click and blend colors that are looking almost even, and we create that harmony within them, or we create a harmony within the transitions within that color and the skin. So you can use it, or you can use this as a very nice or guide layer to guide you through while you're trying to blend the transitions within the skin of your models or the skin of the subjects that you're trying to blend or retouch. Then also, if at all this is a little bit confusing, you can come back up here and simply deactivate the black and white layer, and you can now come and also deactivate the texture so that you can only look at the colors in real time. And the good thing about this other technique is when you're trying to blend, you'll be looking at the effect in real time. So you can see that it is working in real time and affecting the image in real time as you're trying to blend the transitions. But remember, as you're trying to blend the transitions within the skin of our model right here, what we have to do is you don't have to zoom all the way in. Remember, when you zoom all the way in, it is not going to show us the areas quite well, the areas that have those skin tone inconsistencies within the image. So you have to retouch at a distance, or you retouch when you're looking at your photo at a distance, and in this way you can visibly notice the uneven areas. So you have to mix colors that are looking alike, and you don't drag one color from one area to another if at all you want the best out of your retouched image. Then also, if at all you want the best results, you have to keep on playing around with different sizes of the mixer brush tool so that you don't drag or spill rather color from an area to a different area. So you have to be careful while using the mixer brush tool. So basically what I'm doing, I'm trying to blend the transitions within the skin of the model and having a harmony within those colors within this very image. I hope you are seeing this. And the good thing about using the option for turning off the textures, the more plastic the image is looking, the better your final or retouched image is going to be. So we have now worked on the lower parts of the body. So let's just work on the face of the model. And you can see that this is going to help or enable you create a very nice and beautiful image at the end of the retouching process. And you won't distort or change the original facial structures because you are basically following the dimensions of the original colors that were existing within the model's skin. So make sure you are really careful and you play around with different sizes of the mixer brush tool. Like I said, while using the mixer brush tool, always and always retouch at a distance unless it is very necessary for you to zoom in. For example, for these tiny or very small areas, for example, in the face. So when it comes to the face, just zoom in by using Ctrl or Command plus, and you can retouch those very, very fine details. But for bigger areas, you have to always and always retouch at a distance, and you are always looking at your image from a distance. So basically, this is what I do while I am retouching light skin complexion models within Photoshop. So you can see that we are now having a nice blend within the colors or the skin tones of a model. So I'm just going to retouch this other side and this tiny area within the chest of the model. So you can see how nice and easy skin retouching is. I know some people tend to make it look a little bit complicated, but it is very, very nice and simple. So what I'm going to do basically, I'm going to come and I work on the tiniest details that I couldn't use a brush or I couldn't visibly see from a distance and fine tune them. So I'm just going to zoom out by using Ctrl Command minus and turn on the texture layer, and you can see when I try to zoom in and show you the before and after, just see what we have been able to achieve by just using the mixer brush tool. So I could come and work with the texture layer turned on, and this is going to enable me really achieve the best out of the image and show me the areas I haven't worked on even and just refine them. So you can see just the mixer brush tool gets the job done out of your retouching. So after doing this, we want to remove blemishes from the image. So just come and select the high frequency layer and come and get the clone stamp tool. And for the settings, I prefer to use the hardness of 40, opacity of float 100%, and sample I prefer current layer. So it is not about a preference. it must be the current layer, because you only want to deal with textures in the high frequency layer. So you have to zoom all the way in by using Ctrl or Command plus on the keyboard. And how to remove a blemish: make sure that the brush or the clone stamp tool is slightly bigger than the blemish that you want to remove. And how to do this: use the bracket keys on the keyboard, and you can copy and paste clean skin over the blemish. So in order to copy, hold on the option or alternate key on the keyboard and left click on an area close to the blemish, because that area usually has the same color to what you want to replace the blemish with. So alternate and left click on that area that is clean, and simply release the alternate key on the keyboard and left click over the blemish, and that is going to clean or clear the blemish from that area. So basically that is how to clean up the skin or remove blemishes from your images using the clone stamp tool and using frequency separation in general. So basically that is how I do remove blemishes from images using the clone stamp tool within Photoshop. So I'm just going to be using Control Command minus to zoom out and come and eliminate these lines right here. And you can see that this is going to make the image look great and look better. So make sure you clean up or remove all the blemishes within the skin. So right now you can see that we are done retouching the image, and you can see the before after. So right now you can do a little bit of eye and teeth whitening. And how I do this: I simply delete this and I just come and create this hue and saturation adjustment layer, and simply take out the saturation from the image up around negative 89 and invert this layer mask by pressing Ctrl Command I on the keyboard. And I come and get the brush tool, right click and get the brush tool, and the settings I prefer hardness at 0, opacity and the flat 100%, and make sure I have black and white on these color swatches. So you can simply click to get those color swatches to the default, that is black and white, and make sure white is on top as the foreground color, and you can switch between black and white by using X on the keyboard. So make sure white is on top, and you can now zoom into the areas that you want to whiten, that is the eyes and the teeth. So paint on the white area just like that. That is going to do a very nice and fine job trying to whiten for us the eyes. And you can zoom into the teeth and also do a little bit more of the teeth whitening, and you can see this is a better and more efficient way to do eye and teeth whitening, and doesn't make the eyes and teeth look blue at the end of the process. So you can see that this looks okay, it looks great, and it actually looks awesome. So we are now done doing the skin retouching and eye and teeth whitening. So you can see the overall before and after for everything. This was the image initially, before after. You can see how nicely retouched the image looks, and it looks beautiful and great. So basically this is what I do when I'm retouching light skin models in Photoshop. And if at all you have found this video helpful, don't forget to hit the like button and don't forget to subscribe this channel. And you can purchase my actions that are going to speed up your retouching process by using the links in the description of this very video. Ronix from Ronix Photography. Thank you for watching. I'll see you in yet more amazing tutorials, and don't forget to keep practicing and also keep creating.